Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros, Jon and Nez, hanging out, Black and Yellow Dog app, platform of the people, Underdog Fantasy, and we got a loaded day, man. Actually, you know what? I'm buzzing in general because we got a loaded week ahead. We got a loaded month ahead. I don't know, man. Like, football Sundays they got a feel to them, right? You know, people get jacked up. We draft the slate all week, and then there's like this 10 hours of frothy watching football, whatever. But man, I had myself a hell of a Sunday yesterday, just flipping between hoops, college hoops, baseball. You know, I've mixed in a little bit of racing in there. Like, it's truly a multi-sport draft league season here as we push into the playoffs for both NBA and for puck. And then we're full swing baseball as well. We got the Masters next week. I was building out, you know me, analog bro, old dusty calendar here. I was building it out for the people here, Nez, and man, we got some real good stuff coming up. Like, we got Masters coming up next week there. We got the dance that we're going to be drafting, and we're going to talk about next week as well. We got, 10, 8, 15 games of everything on a day-to-day basis here. We got Best Puck Classic starting today. We got the last week of Double Dribble. Like, it is all happening now on the platform, man.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more in terms of, the time, the sport calendar, like the preference between this and an NFL Sunday. I mean, we all, like you said, we all love the NFL. We commiserate, we all do it together. There's a little more segmentation, a little more alienation with this time of year with the sports, but it's just simply better. It's just better.
It's incredible, man. Like, I was low-key bachelor for the weekend there, just Nikki kind of did a little bit of a staycation with friends and stuff like that. And between Saturday night and just watching sports, then playing hockey, then all day Sunday yesterday, I literally didn't move from here. I went old school Sunday, playing poker tournaments and watching everything from watching an F1 recap in the morning there, all the way through a day slate of baseball to the hoops in the evening to that crazy UConn and Duke game. And then, just cook yourself a little steak and watch Sunday night baseball to cap it all off. And then, Nuggets game to close off the evening as well there with the late West Coast window. It was amazing sports start to finish all day long of multi-sport variety, man. It's so fun.
Yeah, it was a sick weekend. There's a lot of fun shit that went down. Like that Duke loss is an all-timer. Just an absolute all-time meltdown. Like, I just don't even know how that happens. You do that possession 100 times and it probably doesn't even happen 100 times. I have no idea how that fucking happened.
Right. And they looked so seamless. Like, they looked like they ran the play so seamlessly to get over the timeline. Yeah. They ran a misdirection action, and then there was a first clean pass, a second clean pass, and it was oh, wow, this game's over, man.
Should have been. It absolutely should have been. I mean, yeah, I was literally at a loss for words. I still am.
Yeah. All-time legendary shot that will be part of the montages for years there with that, damn near logo 3 from Mullins there. So sick. Yeah, man. And then there's another thing, man. Natty Championship is next Monday. So, I mean, this is wild. So just laying the land for the people. I got some of the thumbs up, but not fully. The ebbs and flows of the calendar right now, Nez, is that, just for people getting reset with baseball and that sort of thing. Wednesdays are typically all day games and a getaway day. And they're going to be slates that are going to be very hard for us to cover because they're going to be smaller. They're going to start way earlier in the day. And then we're going to have really small West Coast night slates that are 2-3 gamers, that sort of thing. So our basketball and baseball days are going to be heavily skewed and loaded with Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays, basically, right? Yeah. And then we'll try and get a lot of NBA on the Wednesday. And then, off and on the clock will be on Tuesday, but we'll try and mix in some paywall stuff for the daily slates for people. And then next week with these Wednesdays that are kind of half the show can't be baseball, we're going to kind of mix in other sports. So this Wednesday, we're going to do our first NFL best ball draft. together. We have yet to do a big board together, so we'll do that. And then we'll do PGA next week in tandem with the Masters there. So yeah, this is kind of how we're feeling things out over the next while. We do our best, but we're only two dudes,
Yeah. There's only so much we can cover in a short amount of time, but I think we got it. I think we got it.
Yeah, I think we got a pretty good plan coming ahead here. Nez, I want to start with one thing here before we get into the weekend that was and start jumping through the slates. I just want to share this with people. Hope put out a tweet today in tandem with the Underdog Drafts account there that if you are playing this Underdog Open this week, the Albatross is filling as well, the Majors only contest. Obviously, that will lock in tandem with the Masters. And what they're doing is they're starting to implement these tokens. And draft tokens was something that we got introduced to while we were in LA. We were the trial run for draft tokens there for everybody who was in the Underdog Streets affiliated with the Dog Bowl. And effectively what they did was they just gave us a couple for the main slate that night so everybody could kind of have a sweat at the Dog Bowl, plus ones and everyone included. And effectively a draft token is just one entry to whatever draft they choose it to be. So this is a really cool, just look into the future, a glimpse of what we could see where they're starting to do these giveaway draft tokens in tandems with other contests to get you into future contests. So just really cool first iteration if you guys are playing PGA this week.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how these get distributed in the future. Very cool addition. Obviously, we like free things, so glad they got the tech rolled out for this. Only up from here.
Yeah, sky's the limits with something like this, right? You can be giving them away to pick 'em players to get them into the draft streets. You can be giving them away to, bottom of the leaderboard as a rakeback functionality. So you get another entry tomorrow. You could do hey, play 20 tonight, get one tomorrow. It's a really good stepping stone, man.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice that it's separate from just general bonus funds to actual draft token, So that's kind of cool that it funnels back into the drafts.
Yeah, exactly. Right on. Yeah, well said. All right, Nez, let's I mean, these guys are clamoring for NBA first. All right. We were going to start with MLB, but maybe it's more timely to do NBA if the people are clamoring for it. We are the platform of the people with the people of the people. All right. Maybe we'll appease the people with NBA first.
All right, let's do some NBA. You guys, it's got to be a little shorter and a little sweeter than the past because we have a 10-game MLB slate. And it is way more important to cover, and there's way more to cover with MLB because there's way more viable options. So let's roll.
Okay, let's roll indeed. Is there anything you wanted to say on the weekend there? Because, I played as kind of many contests as I could. I was jumping around. I got in some of the Web Gem stuff yesterday, but it started pretty early on the West Coast there. And filled quite quickly as well. So it's good to see the MLB fill rates here. But did you have anything you wanted to hit on or success stuff or just stuff that we can bring up as we go kind of deal?
Not particularly. No, not really in any of the sports over the weekend. Had some close calls, but nothing that was worth sharing.
Okay, cool. Any friends and family find their way to the top of the leaderboard that you happen to notice?
I not that I can remember offhand, but I think there were some, but I'm having trouble pulling it up right now.
Okay, cool. All right, dude, let's push into NBA and just discuss it all here. We got 8 games of NBA with a whole bunch of football-like spreads on the slate here. We were talking about the calendar moving forward. NBA play-in starts April 14th. This is the last week of double dribble, so we are fully in dog days of March NBA, tanking out loud, coupled with, some of these games matter, some of them matter not at all, that sort of deal. So moving pieces in terms of dynamics on the slate, that's just kind of macro. Anything else macro there before I do the back-to-backs and such, Nez?
No.
Okay, Cool. All right. So second night of the back-to-back for the Boston Celtics. They have submitted. Jason Tatum is not going to play on the second night of the road back-to-back. Kata as well has doubtful tag there. Miami, they already ruled out Norm Powell. They're on the second night of the back-to-back in a pretty important game here in terms of head-to-head value in the Eastern Conference, because Miami's only 2 games back in the win department rather, versus the Sixers this evening. OKC is on the second night of a back-to-back, but they are playing against a depleted Detroit team that has already ruled out both Duran and Cade there. So we will see what we get from the OKC injury report. And then the Washington Wizards got their absolute you-know-what's stomped in yesterday by our Blazers, and now they have to play a Luka-less Lakers team this evening on the second night of the back-to-back. So there's 4 teams on the second night of the back-to-back. Wizards and Thunder have not submitted injury reports yet, but we do have Boston and Miami's injury reports. No Norm Powell in that Miami one. And then the front-end back-to-backs, we have the Suns on a front-end back-to-back, so they play in Orlando tomorrow night. We have Detroit going back home and playing the Raptors tomorrow on the front end of the back-to-back, and then Cleveland versus the Lakers playing each other both on front ends of back-to-backs this evening. And then Dallas plays the Milwaukee Bucks, who, hey, I thought of you yesterday, Nez. They weren't on the main slate, but shout out to Gary Trent Jr. getting home in a huge way at least once a year, because you won the Gary Trent Jr. slate last year. And dude, he dropped like 36 or 37 yesterday when I was tapping in.
Gary Trent Jr. Season. All right. Good to know. Good to know. He's got the green light.
He's got the greenest of green lights. So that's 4 on the back end, back-to-back, 7 games of hoops tomorrow that we will cover behind the paywall for everybody there. That's kind of like the macro of it. Anything you're noticing, ADP wise, that sort of stuff before we start walking through a little bit of the game by game dynamics?
I mean, the Jaylen Brown ADP is fake since he opened with the Q tag with Tatum, and Tatum gets ruled out. JB gets ruled in. It's Atlanta. Yeah, he's going way earlier than 13.7 now. Mm-hmm. And another one who's got a bit of a faker ADP. He's in a flat tier right now, but he's seen it shoot around, so he's starting to climb up a little bit. People are excited to play Ant against Dallas here. Those are like the biggest ones off the top. Those are some pretty big injuries to keep an eye on in the morning, and now we got some clarity on JB at least. Okay,
cool. Yeah, good macro there for sure. Definitely noticed, Derek White was a climber in the back end of drafts as well there. Also people playing the other side of that one with like Dyson kind of always being a projection darling, that sort of deal. The Sixers, man. Sixers are back to full here. So we got Embiid at the top end of draft boards. We got Maxey, who comes off the injury report, hasn't played in damn near a month, and plays 43 minutes here. I put Maxey on the cover just because it's a pace-up spot, and it's an important game, and it's something I wanted to talk about. And then Podcast P, aka putting the P in PEDs now, is he's been playing some huge ball since coming back. 36 minutes against the Hornets there on Saturday night, 56 fantasy points in each of those, with 5 stocks in each of them. So these guys are back in a big way. And as I'm speaking, OKC is reporting, and we got no J-Dub, aka Jalen Williams, and no Hartenstein. So we're gonna see, we're gonna see SGA. We'll talk about that a little bit, but we're gonna see SGA go for his keep the 20 points alive streak, and then you're gonna maybe get some Jalen with a Y at the back end of drafts now. Probably, I don't know. Do you think he starts? They've sometimes started him. They've sometimes not started him in these spots where Hartenstein misses.
I didn't think, I don't think so, but I don't know. I might not just be as well versed enough in the non-Hartenstein starting lineups, because I always thought that he needed Chet out.
Yeah, they've started him alongside Chet a handful of times this year, but I don't know. It hasn't been recent memory when they've been fuller with Wiggins back and that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. Either way, I think he's a totally fine play, especially if you're playing the garbage garbage minutes angle of things, because, if him and B-Ball Paul are just going back and forth for the last quarter and a half of that game, I mean, wheels up in terms of fantasy point scoring.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay, Nez, let's go back to we're not going to go full game by game here, but just macro game dynamics here. Like, how are you treating 12-point favorites in this Grizzlies one? Spurs as 18.5-point favorites with the highest total of the slate as well there. We got 16.5 for the Cavs on the road on a front end of a back-to-back before they play a Lakers team tomorrow. How are you treating some of these games in quote-unquote silly season now, where it's like, man, the Jazz can't hold serve here. I'm choosing between, 3 quarters of Harden and Donovan Mitchell or 4 quarters of Jalen Johnson with 20 points less in the total, or, just to use a comp. Those guys' ADPs aren't perfect, but just macro thoughts on how you're dealing with some of these spreads this time of year.
Yeah, I think on this slate, it's easier because we have 2 games with spreads less than 3, and one is 7, and you don't even expect that one to really be close. So you kind of treat them all equal, and even if there was only 1 or 2 on here, really, I think for the most part, you just cross your fingers and and pray, close your eyes and pray that the increase in rates for these guys is enough with their minutes slashed, which I think is the case for most of them, or at least how I'm playing it, because that's just how I choose to. But yeah, it sucks to look at it and have to think about these spots. Oh, nice, we get Steph Castle against the Bulls, but man, I'm really worried about the blowout run. It's I'm just choosing not to worry about it. I'm going to play Steph Castle because he's sweet and he can do a lot in a little, and the Bulls suck. So, let's just see what happens.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, he's coming fresh off of that triple-double, 20, 10, and 10. I think that's his second triple-double of the year. The first one was more impressive. It was that 42, 12, and 10 monster game there. Right. But, yeah, man.
So, for the favorites, like I just said, I'm not really too worried about it. I think for the underdogs here, I mean, you might be drafting Filipowski on the Jazz. That doesn't feel totally awesome. The Spurs, or the Bulls, I'm definitely a little worried about. So yeah, I'm definitely not in love with the Giddy play today. I'll say that much at least.
Okay, cool. Nez, arbitrary end date, but it's clean because it's the start of a month. How many basketball games have the Spurs lost since February 1st? So almost 2 months. Well, basically 2 months.
5.
2.
Wow.
They lost to Denver in a 136-131 game that I believe Wemby sat.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Let me see here. I'll check my homework. Yeah, Wemby sat. So in the Wemby games, they haven't lost since January. Wild, eh?
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. My buddy put me on it the other day. Evidently, the guy who made all the futures bets on the Spurs the last year and a half or whatever, he's like, yo, buddy, they're 23-2 in their last 25, right? I'm like, oh my God, no, I did not. I knew they beat OKC a few times, but shit, dude.
That's crazy.
There's no contest. Shoot, I just moved my thing. There's no contest at the top end of draft boards for Wemby 101 today, question mark? Okay.
I mean, part of me, no, but I don't know, man. You could probably do Embiid if you wanted. You could probably do, yeah. I think you could even do Maxey.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm totally fine with it.
I am doing Wemby. Doing Wemby. I'm just, yeah. Well, I guess I'll get to those guys later, but yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting because you look at the center depth chart on the Bulls right now, and you go Q tag on Yabu, Q tag on Nick Richards, that they've been kind of bouncing back and forth with, which, Yabu's not anything defensively and he's not very big. Nick Richards has a little bit of size, I guess, but not like Wemby size, right? And then you go, oh, well, Sticks is done for the year. Zach Collins done for the year, like all this stuff. And it goes like, man, Wemby could be like a 2.5 fantasy point per minute guy here, like a 2.8 guy, and only play like 26 minutes. And he's still like the highest projecting play on the slate.
Yeah, it could be. It could get pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I think you just have to take them. But I do agree with you that next like big tier, that dude, you can literally go like any which way. And you noted how like JB's getting pulled up in rooms, right? But like SGA, with getting some of these guys ruled out, he could be the number 2 today and just does enough in 3 quarters to matter. But we're very likely to see 29 minutes instead of these 36 minutes kind of outings, especially second night of a back-to-back there when they took care of the Knicks in a low-scoring affair yesterday. Embiid and Maxey, you can like switch them both around. Now that Keita may or may not play basketball, it's not the best matchup in the world for Jalen Johnson, but like, taking Tatum and potentially Keita out of there makes it like a little bit more palatable and better there. So, dude, you can mix and match all this stuff. And then we get to the Lakers conversation where it's like front end back to back. Like, I think Austin Reeves is more likely to play way more minutes than LeBron is. If they want LeBron to play basketball tomorrow against Cleveland, like this feels like Austin Reeves music to me tonight. So you can mix and match these two.
Yeah. This front end is very fluid for me. I mean, famous last words, man, but I've got an SGA fade right now.
Okay. Sure. You're just scared like 26 minutes or something, right?
I just think like to compare the runouts for SGA, right, which are like, like you just said, potentially poor. Like, yes, there's a lot of ceiling with SGA, but the minutes have been limited. Detroit is decimated. He's like I just said, like the minutes are limited. Compare that to Jalen Johnson. Compare that to Tyrese Maxey. It's really like, I mean, compare it to Jaylen Brown without Tatum today. Like,
right.
I don't know, man. Like for me, like Maxey over SGA has been like automatic.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I could get JB as high as 4 on this list for sure. Maybe 3. I think I'd probably take both the Sixers guys ahead. But if you had a plan to like take VJ as a leverage play in the last round, which I don't think is a great play today, but like from a leverage standpoint, I think it's fine. Or if you wanted to get overweight PG in the middle rounds, if you were the guy taking JB or Jalen Johnson at 2 every time, I wouldn't fault you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because obviously there's some really good JB teams out there, but yeah, I think you should be bullish on Jaylen Brown if you're playing today, even still. Like I think it'll be better for your ROI if you are, as opposed to fading and trying to bank first without him.
Right. Yeah, and to your point about that Pistons stuff, I mean, second night of a back-to-back for the Thunder, 12.5-point favorites at home. Low total, second lowest on the slate, or lowest on the slate? Lowest on the slate with a 218.5. And, we get the Pistons listing all their G Leaguers available, and they're without Duncan Robinson, Tobias, Jalen, and Cade Cunningham. That's 4 of their 5 starters. And then their best defensive starter is the only one playing, Asar Thompson, who's going to play on ball against SGA. So now you get like the one guy that you'd most likely want out is the one guy who's in. Right. And then you get the G Leaguers listed available as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's Dennis Jenkins, it's B-Ball Paul, this sort of stuff. Maybe SGA can do enough in 26 minutes, but probably not when you're comparing, JB and Jalen Johnson and that sort of thing if they play full.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not great, I don't think.
Okay, cool. Do you agree with my assessment of the Lakers? Do you like Reeves more than LeBron tonight?
Yeah, I have him over LeBron.
Okay. And then Maxey versus Embiid's like a coin flip for you?
Yeah, I'm playing ADP and have Embiid ahead, but yeah, I've got a lot of Maxey.
Okay, cool. Are you going to play Bam over kind of like this tier? Because I think it's a pivotal decision point on the slate. I mean, we're playing JB over the tier, but are you going to play Bam over the Harden, Giddey, and Mitchell, which are all in football spreads? Like Spurs are 18.5-point favorites. And then the Cavs are, I believe it was 16. Cavs are 16.5-point favorites. Are you going to play Bam over that grouping?
So I've got JB over Bam like you have in your queue there, but I'm I'm not take so Giddy. I'll take him over Giddy, but the Cleveland guys, I'm still taking over Bam.
Okay.
I even did Devin Booker over Bam, but like I'm gonna get more Bam moving forward because I don't want to have none. He's playing pretty well, but yeah, I'm not like getting over my skis on him.
Okay, cool. Is Cooper Flag kind of like a tier break guy for you, or is he a guy that you want to be overweight today?
No, he's definitely like tier break.
Okay.
Don't mind getting overweight, but yeah, like yeah, like I would probably put like I'm really worried about Giddy tonight, so I don't have him. I have him like over Giddy. Like I just don't want any part of Josh Giddy tonight, to be honest.
Sure, yeah. I mean, they could get their doors blown off in a huge way. It could be a classic spot where he only plays 26 or 29 minutes. I mean, he's a walking triple dub, but like if you get Castle on some of the on-ball stuff and it's a very strong defensive matchup on the other side, that like if he only ends up playing like 26 bad minutes, like yeah, we don't really want that.
No,
Yeah.
no. I think the floor is really, really low today for him.
Okay, cool. Cooper Flag stands out to me as a guy that I'd actually want to be overweight today, just given the fragility of the tier above him. Now they could get their doors blown off as well there, but like I don't know, man. I'm just looking at like Najee Marshall questionable. I'm looking at Caleb Martin out. I'm looking at questionable tags on the bigs there with Marvin Bagley, who shout out me, dude. I told everyone the Marvin Bagley game is coming back. And then over the weekend, 27 minutes, and he puts up damn near 50 fantasy points. Marvin Bagley stuff was coming back in our lives, but he's on the, I'd venture to guess he's a little bit more on the doubtful side of a Q tag this evening. Daniel Gafford coming back tonight. I don't know, man. Like I just look at this and I see like, okay, if Ant comes back this evening, no Jaden McDaniels for the on-ball stuff on the other side. You're going to get Io in there. He's already been listed available. I don't know. It just looks like a game that if there's any chance for this staying close and like the back-to-back, the back and forth, it stems through like Flag versus Ant kind of vibes.
Okay. Would you take him over Devin Booker like most drafts?
I think that one's kind of like a coin flip, but like I think I would take him over. I think I would take him over the Cavs guys, and I would take him over Giddy. I'd take him over Booker too. I'd take him over Booker too. Yeah, I think I'd want to be the Flag guy today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know, man. Like he just seems like he's gunning for that Rookie of the Year. He's playing way more aggressive right now. I just like it. For whatever reason.
Yeah. No, I mean, I have no problem. It's just it's a strong tier ahead of him is the only drawback. But yeah, I guess my next session, like Flag or Ant Edwards today.
Flag.
Okay.
Yeah, like Ant has done this before and come back and played full, but like this feels like a little bit more real than those ones in the past did.
Okay.
Yeah, like where he's actually missed like 2 weeks and then they did the staggered doubtful tag and then they did the Q. But I do think Ant plays basketball tonight.
Yeah, so do I.
Okay. Yeah, I'd probably do Ant right here in my rankings and then kind of like adjust. Maybe Evan Mobley, him, like this, but I'm not as bullish as Mobley, even though we like him against like Filipowski and stuff like that. What are you doing with this next big clump here, dude?
This next big clump being
anyone who isn't on the screen. So George down to Walker. No.
Yeah, I mean Paul George running hot, but it's a pretty good spot. So I don't hate it. Like I'm taking Paul George, right? Like I've got Mobley and Ant over him, obviously, but I have no problem taking Paul George a little past ADP. Now this next tier I think is way more like this is where like shit gets a little murky.
Yeah.
Hero I think stands out for the game environment. Like Randall with Ant back is a little more like don't really love it, but no Jaden McDaniels for whatever it's worth, I guess. So because of that, like I like Jalen Green here a lot.
Okay.
Not a good matchup or not a good defense on the other side of things. he's been efficient in short stints, like we see against Utah, just went berserk. I feel decent about him against Memphis, but you'll have to remind me because I know Memphis has the surprising defensive statistic, right?
I don't think it really applies with this group that they're going to be running out today.
Okay.
Like if you look at what they have, it's just a bunch of 10-day guys right now. Like look at all these out tags in the player pool, and then we're going to get the doubtful tag on Small and Ty Jerome. Oh, Ty Jerome's already been ruled out. I saw doubtful this morning there. And then like I just don't think any of it matters. Like I would just be like balls to the wall with Jalen Green at Price. Like him and Booker both seem fine. I wouldn't pair them together a ton, but like they could both get home. But like Jalen Green's a bucket and he lives for dicing up a bad matchup in short order, right?
Right. I think it could. I think you could get some shots up today. So the projections don't like it, but when a projection is ever like Jalen Green, that's where we come in. That's where we tell you to take the guy that can fill it up like crazy against like you just said, a bunch of 10-day guys. So I kind of like Jalen Green, like second out of that tier.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I respect that for sure. Are you a little bit, if you're playing Ant in, are you a little bit down on the Rudy stuff, a little bit down there? Because like, J-Cam's saying like 30 minutes of Gafford versus Rudy. Like, yeah, he's free right now. You could do that. I don't know. They've liked some of that PJ at the 5 stuff if Bagley can't go, but I would much prefer Gafford tonight. But yeah, I don't know. Are you into that kind of like back and forth at all?
So I'm not really super high on Randall or Rudy right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I think I'd probably put Castle next year and then the Minnesota guys. And then it's like a tier. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good to me. In the evergreen debate of Nah versus Dyson, do you have a favorite today?
I think Nah.
Yeah.
I just because it's way more fun to draft Nah than Dyson. But
yeah, Celtics like to give up a little bit of catch and shoot, and they'll trade threes with you, right?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how Nah shooting on the year, but yeah, that was sort of my thought.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna hit a couple things in the chat real quick here. WizK has a really good point. We'll get to that in the scrolls because he's definitely on my list. The Stunna, I feel like SGA is a guaranteed 30-plus points at least because of the 20-point streak, and then he gets a couple assists and rebounds to go with it. I couldn't agree more. Like I think he's a really good mean projection. It's just 30 points from the first round isn't going to win you the slate. Like we're looking for 50 or 60 because someone in that tier is going to smash today. And it's just not a game environment that looks conducive to smashing unless Detroit can hold up their side of the bargain. So if you're building out SGA teams, I would definitely consider putting it with B-Ball Paul, or which it's, a better matchup without Hartenstein on the floor, but still isn't a great matchup for 5s there. But I would consider doing like, Dennis Jenkins and hope he gets 42 fantasy points and keeps the game close enough to matter. Like nobody's debating that SGA's floor isn't super high. It's just that second night of a back-to-back after a hard-fought game where he played 36 yesterday, they rule guys out today. Like, sure, he's still in the MVP conversation, but he's probably only playing 3 quarters tonight.
Right.
Oh, there you go. Caught Mr. Nez in the $3 3-man NBA streets there. Love to see it. $8 richer. Yes, we will do MLB right after this. What up, AMAC? And Jets is asking, is BRDMC part of the community? Absolutely, man. He's
of course
always he's the number one guy chatting in the baseball thread in the Discord there. He is OG, the best baseball player on the site, best baseball daily player on the site there. And then speaking of some of the best, man, I seen this guy T-Box taking care of business for the last 2 weeks. He had a monster 20K day over the weekend there. He is he's killing it in both NBA and MLB right now.
Yes, insane week for T-Box. He went beast mode.
What up, Bobby? All right. Let's keep pushing here, Nez. Do you pull up the Boston guys behind this tier? Because the hashtag models will tell you, especially if we get Kata to sit, that Peyton Pritchard and Derek White will be risers, and Derek White in a vacuum should go above Peyton Pritchard. It's just that probable tag, but these guys are going to be big-time risers. Are you worried about them being overowned, being over-jammed up, that they exist with sixth round combos that we can't get now. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely should have been jamming Derek White earlier if you weren't. Like, it was a free roll to take a shot on him being healthy and one of the Jays missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like next up in that tier. Like, he leapfrogs those guys for me, like you asked. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Two more for a frozen rope. Get in there. Yeah, I'm convinced T-Box has insider info. Dude, he builds out all his own shit. Go back and watch the T-Box episodes. This guy grinds harder than everybody. Back in the day, he would push all three buttons, load the draft one by one, and then push the plane. He's a man of class, dignity, and respect out here. He is the best of the best.
No, yeah.
Anybody else that you want to talk about at the back end here before we get into scroll territory of the 100% drafted guys? That being kind of like Fox, Bailey, Jenkins. I kind of said my piece on VJ. Dyson Daniels is going to be near 100% because he's always going to outproject this, and it's a close total. Anything you want to say on this tier of the fringe 100% guys? Should they be 100%? Should they not?
Ace shouldn't be. Fox, I guess, like, is worthy of, pick 36.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jenkins is fine. Just given his minutes and the way that the team looks right now. Yeah. I think he's fine. It scares me, but I think he's fine.
Yeah, I question the right tail outcomes when he doesn't have a supporting cast. You know what I mean? But like the role is undeniable right now when it comes to the drives, the shots, the potential assists that he's putting up, and then you remove 5 starters basically. Like it's definitely a good mean projection play here, but obviously tough on ball defense against him.
Yeah.
Okay. Of the scrolls, a couple that stood out to me thus far. The combination of Andrew Wiggins and Jaime Jaquez Jr., those were kind of like just playing to game environment and total. I liked a little bit of Jalen with a Y for this kind of like him versus B-ball Paul in garbage time dynamics / could potentially start. DeAndre Ayton, we love centers against Washington, front end of a back-to-back. Maybe LeBron doesn't play as much as we think, and then they run more through Ayton. Those ones kind of stood out to me. There was a good shout in the chat about Onyeka. I'll hit on that in a half second. And then some of the Utah guys. What do you like, Nez?
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton, I think, is my favorite of that. Really into him in this spot against the Wizards. No Luka. It's the Wizards. Yeah, I just think it makes a ton of sense to take some shots on him.
Mm-hmm. And once upon a time, man, like this was a dude, even as recently as last year, tail end of last year, we can go back and look at the box scores, but the tail end of last year with Portland, when he was playing like those 32s and 36s, like there was a week and a half stretch there where he was putting up nothing but 50 burgers and mattered in a huge way. We've kind of lost sight of that, but like he definitely still has that ceiling, and this is the smash spot of all smash spots.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. What about Sar on the other side of it? Could they just trade hoops for a bit, or is he not going to play enough minutes to matter?
I'm not doing it.
Okay, cool. What about the Asar Thompson thesis where like, hey, they keep the game close enough and run more of the offense through him, a little pivot off Jenkins? Any interest?
I think it's viable. Like, it doesn't feel great, but I think it's viable. If he's getting 30 plus minutes, he tends to put up decent numbers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Gafford, we talked a little bit about the thesis. Like if Bagley can't go tonight or something, you could see like 30 minutes of Gafford tonight.
Yeah, if I'm being promised 30 minutes of Gafford, I think you got to think about mixing him in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, 31 the last time he played. So Gafford seems kind of interesting in the last round. What about Naz Reid's capital letters ceiling game here? Still dealing with the shoulder impingement thing, but not on the injury report or anything, and getting up over 25 last 3 games.
Yeah, I think it is pretty interesting here. They're decent favorites against Dallas. Ant coming back, it doesn't help, but who knows how full he is. And really Jaden McDaniels being gone, I think is like the biggest, reason to play Naz.
Okay. Any chance we see double big tonight and Khalil Ware matters in our lives?
I was thinking about it.
Yeah, I was thinking about it too.
Yeah. I didn't do it, but I was, I gave it a good thought.
Yeah, I think it's like a non-zero chance that they play a little bit bigger against Embiid, especially second night back-to-back stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like only played 15 last night. You use some of that size, get some more overlap with Bam. If he gets up into these like 22s, 23s, like I think I'd rather still play Aiden in the smash spot. But like, I don't know, where can do a lot with a little. So he's just one of those guys who always stands out.
Yeah, exactly.
Who do you think would get garbage time run for the Spurs? Like, would you ever play like? I mean, if the Spurs play competitive, Vassell plays like 30 something minutes and can knock some threes. I don't think they're going to play overly competitive, but he's got some nice box scores recently. Could you play like Dylan Harper or Keldon Johnson or anything like that tonight?
I don't know. All these guys just have like, 20 minutes in their
right
in their box scores. So like, I like if I knew who it was, yeah, but I don't know who it is, and yeah, it just doesn't feel great. I'd rather take some better shots.
Okay, cool. I liked WizK's shout here on the Aneka Okongwu stuff. Like played 37 minutes last time against Boston. You get like the same setup here except for no Keita. And we talk about how good Keita is at defending the rim, and he's basically their paint defense. They got some good perimeter defenders, don't get me wrong, but like their paint defense is Keita in drop coverage. So like if you get like Amari Williams out there today, or you get Luka Garza starting somehow against him, or you get like an undersized like Shireman or something like this, like Onyeka could be a really nice pivot off of some of the Atlanta stuff and play north of 30 with a Q tag for illness on Jacques Landell as well.
Yeah, the Jock downgrade is what made this like definitely a play worth looking into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about playing Onyeka in forever because Jock's there and the box scores have been down, but no Jock makes a huge difference here, and no Keita as well. So yeah, I think Onyeka is a really good scroll.
Love it. What about Kuminga? Too far?
I think it's too far. Yeah, I'm not doing Kuminga, but for Boston, right? We're talking about Keita, doubtful, no Vooch.
Yeah.
No Tatum.
Yeah.
What do you think, man? Can you get
dirty to me? Talk dirty to me.
Oh, Mari, I was gonna get Luka Garza out, but
yeah, I mean either or. They're probably gonna split some of those 5 minutes. We know that Garza can be a really nice fantasy asset. Yeah, Amari played 2 minutes the other night. Like it's just like, yeah, if they go with the Garza route, yeah, I could be about it. I mean, they've also done some other stuff. Like they've signed Charles Bassey, so it's not as clean as it once was, And Ron Harper Jr., they've started him at times. Like if he randomly started again tonight, like I'm not sure I'd be that surprised. The Q tag obviously impedes that a little bit, but if he's randomly started, like I don't know. I think we just stay pretty tight with the top end of Boston.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like you could chase Hauser threes or Shireman starting or Wall starting, or Hugo had that monster 50 burger in a similar setup earlier this year, but I just don't know where those minutes are going to go for, the 4s and 5s basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be hard. You're right.
Yeah. All right, cool. Anyone else you want to just throw a hat tip to for the scroll, or should we rip some drafts?
No, let's just rip some drafts. I think we kind of covered it. I don't think there's a lot of scrolls personally.
Okay. There are there are 3 teams that we can effectively lump together that I want to ask you about right now. Uh-oh. Give it the old off and then on again, see what happens. There's 3 teams that I want to mix into one pool here to talk about. And that's Memphis, Utah, and Washington. Basically, none of them are getting drafted with the exception of Utah, and it's Ace Bailey basically every time. We've seen some weird stuff with Ace Bailey where like the competitive game environments, he gets to stay in a bit longer. The ones in which they might accidentally win, they go ahead and pull him out and he only played 26 minutes, like that sort of deal. Is there anybody that we can get excited about from those 3 teams that could play start and garbage and be condensed enough to be like, that's where we're finding 36 minutes tonight. That's where we're finding 38 minutes tonight.
You're not finding 36 minutes, no.
No, nobody is interesting enough.
I mean, I don't think they're playing 36, like as far as that criteria goes.
Okay.
But can you get to some Cedric Coward? Like, I don't think it's a bad idea.
Yeah, Coward or GG Jackson, they definitely have like, I mean, I only count like 10, maybe 9 if they play Maysack or not. Maysack. Yeah, like they're definitely the best basketball players and the highest rates guys. I'm going to go ahead and take Wemby at 1 here. Yeah, I don't know. Like Memphis has a scenario. Yeah, yeah, there you go. Cody Williams could play 36. I agree with Jaden on that one. What do we got from WizK? There's a scenario where Memphis has 7 guys, which is gross but could matter. Yeah, like I'm looking at it and I'm kind of like, maybe. But like if Memphis ends up with like 7 or 8 guys, I think it's like, I mean, that would involve Walter Clayton Jr. being ruled out. I think it's like Ryan Roper's music or like, yeah, Tyler Burton on a 10-day, his second 10-day. Like, it's those kind of guys. I don't think it would be like GG Jackson and Cedric Coward, which would be like the more fun guys to get up there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, Jazz could have like 10 or 11 tonight where they don't play Svi, they don't play Kev Love. Sheedway only plays backup 5. So Cody Williams plays 36, Bryce Sensabaugh plays 28. Ace Bailey plays 32 to 36. Harkless plays, a little bit of split with Kennedy Chandler. Yeah. Bez Mang plays. Yeah, I don't know. I just think Ace is more fragile. And you kind of hit on this. I think Ace is more fragile than people are giving credence to in terms of his ADP. And with that fragility comes, hey man, maybe there's another like 2 or 3 guys we should be clicking that no one's clicking right now.
Yeah, I think it's a fair assessment. Like, I suppose Bryce Sensabaugh is in play, but
yeah, Bryce would probably be my favorite, like quote unquote bucket getter, right?
Yeah.
I think the Wizards we can just write off because they're too deep. They're on the back-to-back. I mean, maybe they could start and close Leaky Black. But like, do I care? Probably not.
No.
All our favorite plays go. Flag goes, JB goes, both the Lakers guys go, which leaves us with Donovan and Bam. I think we just take it. I don't think there's any reason to get anybody else here.
Okay.
I mean, you could make a case for like if we 100% knew Ant was playing to take Ant over Donovan because of the spread. But also Narrative Street, Donovan Mitchell back in Utah. Does that matter 5 years later?
I know. I mean, it's not nothing. I don't think. Right. like non-competitive game. Like maybe Spida wants to get his. I don't think it's nothing.
Yeah.
When we finally flip Harden and Spida and ADP, are we sure?
Right. Yeah. Are we sure? Is this the time to finally do it? Nope. Maybe not.
It's a silly time to do it. That's all I think.
Yeah. Trying to think. I'm seeing this free Khalil Ware in the chat. Yeah, love to see that. I mean, tonight would be like a decent night for it too. I don't know. The problem is like they could bring Nikola Jovic in for some minutes too. Like he hasn't been playing, but like they could bring him in there. I don't know.
I've completely erased him from my memory.
Respect. Here you go. Donovan off his worst scoring game maybe ever and back in Utah. Feels like 40 real life. I'm hearing narratives. Garza's gonna start. I see you. J Cam's asking if Ant sits, who would you swap to?
Io, I think.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the chalk decision.
That'd be who I swap to.
Which means, you guys ever heard of this guy named Bones Highland, baby?
Bones had like one good game since, you've been back on the Bones train.
Bones, man. I love Bones. Don't you dare put that evil in this world. Bones has had great games. Look at that. 33 fantasy points. Look at that. At Boston. Look at Bones go.
Gotta have that.
Yeah. Yeah, Dante Inferno. Get him out there and just flamethrow. He had a nice one recently. 22 actual. Nice to see him coming back to life after we wrote him off for dead.
I think he would definitely be in consideration.
Yeah.
No Jaden in the fold too, I think.
Yep.
Would help.
Io would definitely be the play though. Nez, we could put double Boston guys together right here. We could pull up Derek White to go alongside Rudy or B-Ball Paul. I think it's a very fluid tier.
Yeah, let's pull up Derek White.
Okay.
I don't think it matters whenever you're building 1B teams.
Okay. Let's do Derek White and B-Ball Paul. Or do you not like the B-Ball Paul stuff?
No, I like B-Ball Paul.
All right. I don't know, man. Anytime a guy who's a high rates guy, even if the matchup isn't great, I'm about it.
Me too.
Yeah. Sexton season for the Gale. I mean, he's back. He's flamethrowing.
All right.
He was hurt for a bit there. He could be like a start plus close guy. They're missing all those bigs. He was so hot from 3 for like a month, right in that dog bowl window. And unfortunate that he got hurt at the tail end of that game. But 39, 33, 34, that's a fun scroll.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So let's just say Yabu and Nick Richards are in because those Q tags have been lingering for like a long time and they've played through them, right? So then you don't want to touch the center rotation because they got 3 with Paw as well, right? Then they do the Leonard Miller at the 4 kind of thing. Dillingham hasn't been playing a ton, but he'd be like garbage time handling. Trey Jones has had some really nice box scores, but he's like a first unit and shutdown guy. So in theory, if they went to like garbage time, you could run like a Sexton, Miller, Dillingham, Ulbrich, Yuki unit. That's a pretty small unit, but you're playing garbage time. It might not matter. I could see Sexton play and play garbage, and that's kind of a fun combo when you're 18.5 point dogs.
Yeah, I mean, if he is live for garbage time, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna have an insane usage rate during garbage time.
I love this community so much. Michael rolls in with John's NBA fangirl loves some bones. And then Matt immediately hits that's a pretty small unit. That's what she said. Just phrasing all over the place here. WizK goes with the Onyeka plus Daniel Gafford double scroll. I think that's pretty fucking sharp. I mean, obviously it's thin, but you're trying to win a contest here. Like that seems pretty. Those are 2 guys who could have expanded 30-minute roles that look nice. J-Cam showing off takes Luka Garza there. Fox falls to the last round. Ace Bailey's here if we want it. Naz Reed's here. Jennings is here. Io, we could play like the get ahead. Jalen with a Y, we could play that garbage time versus B-Ball Paul.
What do you think?
I want to play the garbage time Jalen with a Y versus B-Ball Paul.
Okay.
Let's fuck around, find out. This feels like a really fun tier. Like Dyson would have been the projection darling. Naz Reed can break, multiple ways good for you, like if Ant doesn't play or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ant's playing, so that's why I'm not a fan of the get ahead of Io thing.
Mm-hmm. Respect it, dude. Mixing in double scrolls with those two and DeAndre Ayton, what could go wrong? I mean, yeah, it's obviously like, right tail or bust kind of vibes, but I respect it. I respect the play. All right, Nez. I think that's pretty good due diligence. Under an hour on the Hoops 8 gamer there. I think we could start talking a little baseball now.
I'm ready.
All right. Kind of ebbs and flows of the season here, Nez, that I want to remind everybody is early season, East Coast weather being like 20, 30 degrees at times, cooler than other spots, okay, for hitting environments. The other ebbs and flows of the season I want to remind everybody of is everyone's pitching staffs, because we haven't really had many off days except for if your team had the Friday day in between. The pitching staffs, the way they're lining up right now is good on good, bad on bad, right? And bad with, in parentheses, but just back end of rotation effectively, right? So what we have today is a slate where no pitchers getting drafted in the top 15 picks. There are a whole bunch of good hitters on the slate because it's a 10 gamer and there's tons of stacks. And what ends up happening is effectively everyone builds the exact same teams over and over again because they're so easy to obtain, and yet the chalk all looks so strong. So by that I mean, I thought I had this nice GM in the very first draft in which I built, and I built an Ohtani, Tucker, Betts, Acuna team with a highly ranked pitcher. And then 2 drafts later, I like Kitties is in the same lobby, and he builds the exact same team. And it's like, oh, never mind. That's not that rare a combo. That's not even a GM as it is. So I just want to reset for everybody that this time of year on a slate that has a dynamic like this, ADP is completely irrelevant. Every combo is going to exist. If you can put Judge with Ohtani or Judge with Soto, that's the only GM that could ever possibly exist. But what's going to happen is if people with 10 games on the slate say, let's play a Dodgers stack, well, not very many people are going to do it with Andy Pages, Teoscar, and Will Smith, even though they're good righties versus a lefty. They're going to do it with Ohtani, Tucker, and Betts because it's so easy to do and easy to obtain. And in that same vein, Toronto's going to be overowned because they're priced up like they're playing in Colorado, but they're simply just playing Colorado. So what happens is we have 20 teams that we can stack from, and like 4 of them are going completely undrafted. Maybe 6 of them are going completely undrafted. And the way in which they get drafted is only as 5-man onslaughts or 4+1s. So if you want to be the guy who starts mixing and matching completely unranked ADP teams, this is the type of slate to do it because there's quote unquote bad pitching across the board.
Yeah, a lot of really fun spots to attack, like you said. Yeah, I was pretty shocked at how easy it was to do anything you wanted Dodgers wise. So I did a couple and basically called it. I think the best team on the slate today is like no one even has a first round ADP, which is interesting. Pitching is flat as ever. Yeah, I think it's a pretty fun slate, man. It takes a lot of willpower because you kind of have to avoid some chalk plays every now and then. I think if you want to build a good portfolio, just to put it succinctly. So yeah, it's a fun slate.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, it's interesting because it's a good teams, good hitters, good lineups kind of slate, but there's no like, hey, this spot's popping in a huge way that like, everyone's fighting over a Coors Field game. Everyone's fighting over a wind blowing out game. Everybody's fighting over. It's literally a choose your own adventure slate because nothing is like moving the needle so succinctly that we have sim totals or implied totals north of 5 out here, despite having quote unquote middling pitching on the slate.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's wind blowing out, but I'm just like surprised that nobody's like, I'm surprised that the ADPs aren't more aggressive on that game. Cubs or Angels.
That being the Cubs game?
Yeah, Cubs and Angels. nobody showing a lot of ADP isn't indicating urgency on that one. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Joshua's in the chat here reminding everybody exactly what we just said. There you go. He's already got a Judge and Ohtani, and he goes ahead and just stacks chalk Dodgers around it. And then you get SP5 or 3 or whatever Cabrera is right now. I think he's SP3. He's SP2 now, added to it. So these are the combos that are going to be there all day long. And it's like, that's what you're fighting with if you build a 4-man Dodgers team. Like, yeah, 4-man Dodgers team can definitely win you this slate, but like you're fighting against this, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's just that type of slate. That's not to say that it's not fair. Like, I'm allowing people to do that.
Sure. Yeah, likewise.
It's happening in my rooms.
Yeah, like I've started drafts with Cody Ponce today. I've started drafts with a 36 ADP guy. I think it's really easy to fall into the same patterns over and over again. If you're A, playing the ADP game, or B, you're playing like the onslaught game, well, you should still be mixing and matching your pitchers, because when there's bad pitchers on a slate, they're even more fragile. Like, we're looking at a slate today with the pitching staff where it's like, or with pitching, where it's like, dude, I'd be happy to get 8 fantasy points from my starter today.
Yep. That's all I want. I just don't want a negative score.
Yeah, exactly. Eggers, sometimes you do. Sometimes you do have to take ADP 36101. Welcome to baseball, baby. There's a couple picks to click that are buried today. Absolutely buried.
For sure.
All right, Nez, we will start with the weather like we always do, just to give people a lay of the land there. I will look at the Roto Grinder stuff first, and then I will look at the Ballpark Pal stuff here. We have this. The Marlins game's not on the slate. We have this Jays game inside versus the Rockies here. That is a spot where left-handed power, traditionally plays a little bit better there. We have a Braves and Athletics game that actually has a pretty nice forecast there with it's not summertime Atlanta, but it's 73 degrees, but the wind is blowing in there. We got 69 degrees in Chicago, which is quite warm for this time of the year. It looked like it was going to be a lot cooler yesterday when I was looking at stuff, and then now that's kind of popping in a decent way. And most notably, that wind blowing out in a big way. Just to give people an idea of like Wrigley wind, like Ian Happ hit a ball that was like, I think it was 106 off the bat with like the perfect launch angle, and it fell like 20 feet shy of being a home run over the weekend there when the wind was blowing in. So that's a park that like wind really matters. And when it's pushing out, as Nez alluded to, this is one of his favorite games on the slate there. Brewers play inside, but traditionally speaking, better for lefties than righties. Cardinals and Mets is the warmest game of the day, 80 degrees there with wind blowing out, but that's traditionally played as a pitcher's park, but some, middling pitching on the hill there today, so you could still get got in that one. Astros, Crawford boxes play well for righties, but neutral setting inside there. Padres, 68 degrees with slight wind blowing out to right, plays slightly more favorable to lefties than righties, but in a vacuum is a pitcher's park, especially this time of year in the evenings. Pitcher's park for Seattle with the Yankees and Mariners game there, but 2 strong lineups with some of their lesser, in parentheses, pitchers going this evening. D-backs and Tigers kind of played really pitcher-friendly last year in Arizona, but traditionally speaking, right-handed power had played better than left. It was where left-handed power went to die. But we will see this evening, and if those are sticky year over year, because that was a huge change last year in Arizona, if people remember. And then Dodgers are just the Dodgers, and this plays pretty well as a home run park, 61 degrees, slight wind blowing out there. Ballpark Pal is going to show us a similar story, but as I bring that up, Nez, anything else to say on wind and environments?
No, just, like the Wrigley stuff. The one thing that is interesting is like it doesn't necessarily have a huge impact on runs. It's just, hey, there could be some more home runs here, but I think it's also coupled with the fact that the guy throwing for the Angels today is not good. Is not very good. So, or doesn't look very good.
He's one of their top prospects, by the way, which is maybe saying more about the Johnston's one of their top prospects. He hasn't made a start yet, but he skipped the minor leagues to be a reliever.
Oh, they love doing that. They just fast track these guys. Just
Yeah. The reverse of the Rockies and reverse of the Rays.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's their, I want to say he's their number one pitching prospect, which is maybe saying more about the organization than the player. But like, yeah, I just found it interesting.
Okay.
He was like a top round pick or top 2 pick.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll put a little bit more respect on him then.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Then they sent him down at the tail end. After they started him as a bullpen guy, they sent him down to get stretched out, and he shoved at AAA.
I can't even find minor league info on him.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. This is even better context that I was giving John's high A. Yeah. I mean, it was like they sent him down.
Yeah.
Go figure it out. Yeah, this is my 30 feet was wrong. It was 113 feet that Ian half one got knocked down, which is crazy.
I'm gonna be I don't know. I might be the science denier on that one. I like 113 feet. Are we fucking serious? Like, dude, that's crazy. 113 feet.
Do you remember last year? I don't remember if I videotaped it for the Discord or whatever, but I gave the game by the breakdown of the wind when I was walking Tucker and throwing baseballs into the wind.
Yeah.
I can't believe I did that.
It was good, dude. It was good analysis.
Anything else you want to say here on Parks before we get into our favorite game of skinnies or stacks or fades?
No, I don't think so. Let's just keep it pushing.
All right, cool. I'm going to jump over to Unabated for this. Evergreen reminder, guys, with the totals. Actually, you know what? Before I move to Unabated, I will just show you the simulated game totals here. Because, you know, when you're dealing with like overarching totals, it doesn't tell you the whole story. Like if you just see like, hey, this is a 9 total, but like 6 of those runs might be going to one side versus the other based on the pitching that we are seeing there. But the sim totals out here, you know, Toronto kind of popping a little bit there, and they're really chalky. Cubs and Angels in that wind blowing out. The Sims really like that game because of the environment there. Milwaukee is kind of underrepresented relative to their total here. Yankees and Mariners are kind of overrepresented, but their hitters are like 50 homer guys, so they're kind of like never overrepresented kind of deal. Mets popping in a decent way. It's kind of hard to pair Soto and Lindor together. Cardinals never get drafted, but they have a total that's greater than both Yankees and Mariners and Rays, and they're kind of in that same, and Braves and A's who go every time. So there might be something there. This Detroit one seemed to be popping in a decent way there. That Detroit-Arizona late night hammer seems kind of interesting. Yeah, just thoughts on some of these totals here, Nez?
A lot of similar totals here, you know.
Yeah.
I think the way that I'm, you know, looking at these totals is trying to find plays that I'm not gravitating to naturally and that I don't see other people gravitating to. Mm-hmm. I think like the 101 of that is probably Detroit. Arizona, we've talked about it before, but just to like reiterate, because it's Kerry Bonds, they do not have a left-handed reliever. So Kerry Bonds, this is as good as he's ever going to look. Now, we like him to hit bombs. Power doesn't play well here, but the extra bases play well. So Kerry Bonds looks good. Riley Green looks good. Like, really likes Detroit stuff. And then the Padres. I think Padres are sneaky today. No one really drafting them. You know, their run total looks pretty fine here by the ballpark pal sims. Yeah, you can stack the big three there of Tatis, Machado, and Merrill like very easily, or just pick 2 of your favorites there to throw in a stack because they're going to be like single digit owned today. And like, I don't know, Landon Roop, he was sort of annoying last year in terms of like not giving up a ton of runs, but I don't know. Like, do you have any respect for him? Like, you know, in terms of like stay away?
No, not really. I was kind of in lockstep with you there. Like, it's more respecting the ballpark and the fact that he doesn't get hit like hard. Like he gets hit, but he doesn't get like hit hard. Like he was pretty good at suppressing home runs last year, but like that's fucking so much noise in a sample. And he pitches in like one of the best pitching parks at home. So like, yeah, no, he's like Ryan Nelson in my mind.
Yeah, I think that's a good comp. And then the only other thing I want to throw out there is like, I'm very interested to I guess like ask more about why does the A's and the Braves sim like this?
Yeah.
I think the ballpark pal stuff is really worried about the weather there today, would be my guess. But this does not align with the markets. It's like 2 runs lower than what the books have.
Yeah, no, really good. Yeah, here you go. So they have Truist Park as minus 22 for home runs. So this is a big, like, do you believe it or do you not believe it? Because we have some big time home run hitters with, not the weakest pitching on the slate there. It's Jacob Lopez and Bryce Elder. Both guys have a propensity to give up fly balls and get hit hard. Jacob Lopez in particular, like he gets hit hard with high fly ball rates, but he also strikes out a lot of dudes, right? So it's a very interesting spot there because if you believe the ballpark pal in terms of their simulations with the weather here, you're probably going to be a stay away given how high their ADPs are. But if you're playing the market, as you're alluding to, and that's what ADP is doing in our rooms, we should be getting this game. So yeah, very interesting. I've been doing some right-handed Atlanta, and I've also been doing right-handed Athletics because Bryce Elder's reverse splits, first reverse splitsies guy of the year that has a big enough sample to share. He's been giving up big-time power to right-handed power, and that's something that the Athletics have that is suppressed in price tag relative to the lefties. They got Rooker buried there, so he's one of my my picks to click there. But if you believe what the ballpark pal is telling you, yeah, there's not going to be a ton of offense in that game.
Yeah, which is like I said, just not what the markets say for totals. So it's interesting.
All right, Nez, let's do our favorite game here and set it up for the people. We got some lineups thus far. I'll kind of hint at them as we go here, but yeah, first game on the docket there we have. Let me see here. Yeah, we got Rockies and we got Jays, and the Jays have the highest owned pitcher on the slate there. He is SP1. That's Cody Ponce. He wasn't really drafted. Was he in the player pool for best ball season? Because he wasn't really drafted, and now all of a sudden he's SP1. But he had really good strikeout rates in the KBO last year, so that's kind of interesting. And now he gets this lowly Rockies lineup at home there for his first start, but it's definitely fragile there. And then once upon a time failed prospect, but maybe he can find the strike zone, who used to have a big walk problem, is Sagano on the other side there. So let's start with the Rockies here, dude. Are you stacking for leverage? Are you skinny stacking, or are you full fading?
I've done a couple stacks here with like the top of the order and like TJ Rumfield in there, but overall, I'm not like mixing. I'm not mixing them in hardly at all. But I got a few just in case.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we know they got some power in the middle of that lineup, like the Hunter Goodmans of the world, and there Tovar. Like these guys are like 20 to 25 homer guys. So it's not a terrible idea for the double bubble leverage of going against SP1, but it's not a spot that's like jumping up and down on a 10 gamer.
No, it's just like unowned. So I was like, all right, well, I'll take a shot.
All right, sounds good to me. On the Jays side there, Stone Cold Chalk, man, it's kind of hard to pair like, Springer, who hit that leadoff homer there yesterday. It's kind of hard to pair him with Vlad, but you can get some of the lefties later in your drafts to add to the grouping here. What do you think?
For the Rockies?
No, for the Jays.
Sorry, I NBA injury report took my attention. Yeah, Jays are like mega chalky, and I've done a couple of Vlad and Springers just because I'm like, man, it's hard to get. So I'm like, well, let me get it when I can. Certain rooms it's easier, but it took me a few tries. So doing that, doing a little Barger. We got that lineup in, like you said. I really just kind of like sticking to Springer, Guerrero, and Barger.
Okay.
But I'm mixing some Varsho, mixing some Okamoto. I think it's good to get to, man. Like, Sagano, he can be like annoying in terms of the results that you get against him, where it's like, man, they should be crushing this guy, and then like they can't get anything in the air. But yeah, I'm not like I'm into Toronto. Like I think they're pretty good chalk.
Yep. Sounds good to me. I think there's one misrepresented price in a player in a big way right now. How low would you go? How about a little undrafted Jesus Sanchez, who's hits a
Yeah.
home run yesterday? He's been fucking raking. He's moving up in the order. One of my favorite last round clicks in Digger season there. I love it, man. I love the swing profile of Jesus Sanchez. He's one of my scroll the F downs today in a big way.
Yeah, 2-hole Sanchez is nice.
Yeah. Next game up there, as you were alluding to with the total, Unabated line has this one at 9. Athletics and Braves here on the Athletics side. Are we going full skinnies or fades?
I think full.
Okay.
If you're gonna do it, just like everybody's hit parading and going nuts here, but yeah, I was sort of respecting our friends over at Ballpark Pal, and other projection sources too don't really have a whole lot of like love for this spot. Like yeah, Kurtz, great pick, Acuna, great pick, but otherwise it's not like these other pieces of this game are like must-have players. But yeah, I think if I'm going to do it, I'm going to play full and oh yeah, these are two good offenses facing not good pitchers. They exploded type of deal.
Cool. I'll play how low will you go? And I think I would stop at like Jacob Wilson. Like if you wanted to do just the righties with like the mix and match reverse splits there, like doing like a Bangliers Rooker plus Jacob Wilson feels good to me. On the Braves side there, I actually failed to mention that we talked about it earlier, but this is Jacob Lopez versus Bryce Elder. Bryce is the righty with reverse splits, and then Jacob Lopez is the lefty with a propensity to strike people out. But also big fly ball splits there. I think you can probably play some of the lefty stuff here, but man, Ozzy Albies, lefty killer. He's already took a lefty deep this year. So I kind of like doing a little like, Riley plus Ozzy Albies and like leaving off an Acuna or doing a 3-man like that. But I'm probably not full stacking the Braves today. It's probably just skinnies for me. How about you?
Yeah, I've done some full, but mostly skinnies. Yeah, I think Albies was hitting second, I think, against a lefty earlier, so that's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the right-handed bats here for Atlanta quite a bit. So probably skinnies.
Cool. Yeah, Michael Harris went lefty last time out after I poo-pooed the wraparound stack with lefty, and Michael Harris got it done. So, always in play. Baldwin's always in play. Olson's always in play. Like Olson revenge game, classic. Next one up, dude, that Angels and Cubs game. Yeah, we were both talking about the win there. Ryan Johnson and Edward Cabrera. Ryan Johnson, kind of the prospect mold, making his first career start at Wrigley Stadium, the wind blowing out 71 degrees there. And then Edward Cabrera, both of them are right-handed. Yeah, Cardi loves Angels. Angels are his number one stack on the Bat X there. So is that a full stack spot for you today?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and I think so much can go right for the Angels.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. And if we want to jump over to the site here for a half second and play, how low would you go on Angels? Like, would you go to Josh Lowe? Would you go to Logan O'Hoppe? How far is too far?
Yeah, O'Hoppe. I'd mix in O'Hoppe in a stack. Like all these guys, I think are really solid.
Cool, man. This is gonna be like the classic where like when people think they're getting exposure to the Angels, they're just going to do Trout and Neto, or they're going to do like Trout and Adele, or maybe Soler because he homered the other day. They're just going to stick to like this tight band. And we want to be the guys who are scrolling beyond it and getting exposure to like, run totals aren't created equal. Like in basketball, if we see a high implied total and a close spread, it's probably funneling through Joker, like that's what's going to happen. Certain teams are like, yeah, that guy's going to go off. In baseball, man, you can have a 5-run total and Judge go 0 for 5 or Acuna go 0 for 5 or Trout go 0 for 5 here. So, just noticed the Zach Neto odds on the home run stuff popping in the Bat X. Let's talk about the Cubs there. I'm imagining it's a full stack spot for you as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyone in particular for the how low would you go that you'd be interested in?
I mean, in terms of like batting order, like I really like Dansby hitting 8th.
Okay.
And then by ADP, I think Carson Kelly.
Yeah, cool. I like it, dude. Carson Kelly he's done us well, man. He had a couple, I think he had 1 3 home run game last year, and he had a 2 home run game last year, where it's like, it's a dude that you like to play against lefties more so than righties, but he's got big time power that people just kind of like forget about,
Mm-hmm.
Once upon a time, Carson Kelly was like a big deal when he was coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sneaky Nico Horner as well. Definitely sneaky to mix into your stacks, because it's such an easy stack to get right now. And Bush, Bregman, Happ, and PCA go every single time. And it's so easy to just pair like PCA and Bush with like a first round pick. So it's like anytime you can make that third player an off the board player, or you can take like PCA and then pass on like the Bregman Happ tier and then just stack like the 5 and 6 hole behind him, it's going to be like smart leverage.
Yep.
All right, cool. Rays and Brewers up next here. Brewers at home in this one. 8 is the run total there. Let's start with the Rays side there. This is Nick Martinez, who's right-handed and formerly of the Reds, going up against Kyle Harrison, who is left-handed, formerly of the Giants and the Bo Sox. Skinnies or fulls or fades on the Rays side?
Skinnies.
Okay.
Yeah. Just mostly with the infielders too, like Yandy Jr. and Aranda, who's going to hit, and he's really good. So I think you can just like take him against lefties. It's fine. But yeah.
Cool. I like it, man. Carson Williams is going to have an opportunity to, he's one of their top prospects. He's going to have an opportunity for a while here. Just want to throw out his name and put it on people's radars there. Had a nice game on Sunday. Maybe not yet, but he could definitely be part of our stacks in the future there. And then Cedric Mullins, I probably won't play any of the outfielders from the Rays today, because I don't love Cedric Mullins lefty if he's in there, and it's not a given that he'll be in there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, man. Let's talk about the Brewers side there. They're going up against the righty. I liked Brewers as a little bit of a contrarian scroll. They're not that contrarian, but I got as deep as Rake Bowers earlier today. Oh, yeah. Do you like skinnies or fulls here?
I've done 4-man stacks of this team.
Mm-hmm.
Do a little bit of A-Wins boy, David Hamilton with Bryce Terang for a little Rapsky.
Mm-hmm. Dude, David Hamilton is running, man. He's running all over the damn place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steals. And like, we know that the Brewers like to run, and he's playing every day, and he's left-handed in this matchup. Like, man, this guy, I think he's the number 1 most likely on Ballpark Pal to steal today.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me just. Yep. Number 1 most likely for steals today.
I mean, that's like great news for the top of the order.
Yeah.
Because their scoring position, just like for you guys. So I think the Brewers are really, really nice today.
Cool. About it, dude. Mets and Cardinals. We talked about the warm weather there. On the Mets side of things, you have who was it? I'm blanking for a second here. Clay Holmes going, who's a righty, and then Kyle Lay, I believe you say it. Like, it's like Lay, with a soft H or something like that. But I actually don't know a ton about him, but Mets look like a full stack opportunity here, and it's hard to put Lindor and Soto together.
Yeah. I don't know that I'm full stacking it, but okay. I guess you could.
Sure. So skinny's only for you from the Mets side.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be bad, but I'm not full stacking them here.
Yeah. Oh, Trevor's correcting me.
Yeah, that's what I
Leahy.
thought. Yeah.
Okay.
Jim Leahy
and the boys. And then on the Cardinals side, dude, probably just skinnies for me. I was looking kind of at the top end of that order. Maybe a Burleson from the left side, something like that. I saw him as a pick to click in the chat from somebody earlier. Any interest in the Cardinals?
Yeah, because they're just like so unowned, and they're off to a ridiculously hot start. It's been one game, but I mean, I don't think, or one series, but I don't think anybody necessarily expected that these guys to be hitting as well as they are right now. Like particularly Jordan Walker right now is mashing. So I think Weatherholt, Burleson makes sense. Like Herrera can hit anybody. Yeah, these guys are mashing, particularly off of left-handed hitting, but they're hitting. They're off to a hot start. So
Oh.
I don't know. No one's drafting them.
Yeah, I like that. Leahy has home run limiting stats apparently to our guy Jets there, so that's something I got to look into as the day goes on because that would be kind of bearish for these Mets stacks. Although the highest chance of recording a hit today, which I found kind of surprising according to the simulations, was in fact Bo Bichette, who has looked really tough at the plate thus far. I think he had like 8 Ks in his first 11 at bats as a Met there, so. He's going to be hitting in the middle of that lineup, and nobody wants to draft him by the way he's going recently. But if you trust the S words and aren't results oriented there, his hit probability is the highest according to the S words. Noah was asking about steals. There you go. Hamilton's the highest on our slate. Marcy's the highest on the day. Yeah. All right, next one here, dude. Red Sox and Astros. Red Sox debut for our guy Ranger Suarez, and then Lance McCullers on the other side of that one, who he's been hit or miss for years now. When he's healthy, he shows flashes of brilliance, and it all revolves around the curveball. One righty on the mound, one lefty, Suarez being the lefty of the bunch here. Bo Sox stacks are kind of highly drafted, and Astros are really suppressed today. How are we feeling about the Bo Sox side, Nez?
Pretty confident, pretty interested. It's hard to know what we're going to see from Lance McCullers. But I don't think I'm like overly bullish. So, on him, I'm bullish on the Sox is what I'm trying to say. So, pretty fun lineup here, with Roman Anthony and Duran, Abreu, Contreras, Story. That top of the order I think is pretty fun, and that's really what I'm focused on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I respect it. On the other side there, Astros, is that skinnies or fulls for you on the Red Sox side first?
Fulls, but just like top of the order.
Okay, sounds good to me. Willer Abreu had a really nice weekend there. Willer Abreu's got some big time pop there, so he could be a guy that hang it, bang it. If you want to get away from just doing like Anthony, Duran, and an infielder, which is going to be the most chalky iteration of Red Sox stacks, just mixing Willer instead of Duran or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. I think you could definitely and should mix and match those skinnies. Yeah,
Duran, not Duran, dunce cap. All right. This interesting stuff. Generational wealth spot for Jordan Alvarez potentially. He's a 1-0-1 yesterday and now undrafted frequently here because the lefty. I'll be the first to remind everybody I saw a stat over the weekend on that Astros broadcast that since basically the dawn of time, let's just call it was 1908 or some bullshit like that. Minimum 500 at bats versus left-handed pitching. Jordan Alvarez has the second highest slug for a left-handed hitter ever, behind only Babe Ruth.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so and they flashed that stat lefty, and then he took Yusei Kikuchi yard right after. It was nasty.
Wow.
Yeah. So if anybody's scared of Jordan Alvarez, lefty, that should be to our benefit because he is agnostic to the handedness of pitcher. Is that good? On the Astros side there, Nez, it's going to be relatively unowned, and they got some lefty killers at the top of the lineup there. We are Ranger Suarez respectors, and he's getting drafted every time as SP5-ish there. I have probably more Ranger than I have Astros right now, but I'm down to full stack Astros today.
Yeah, me too. I mean, they make a lot of sense against lefties, especially at home. So, I think I will add some more Astros to my life.
Look a lot stronger too with Jeremy Pena at the top of that lineup as well.
Yeah. Yep. Pena. I mean, they got tons of righties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like righties who, traditionally speaking, kill lefties.
Yep.
Like Christian Walker kills him, Isak kills him. Altuve is kind of like a neutral splits guy, but like Yanier Diaz kills him. Like, so yeah. Probably underrepresented. Let's talk about Giants and Padres there, Nez. Start on the Giants side. It's Landon Roop on one side, and then it's Walker Buehler, who had a really tough spring and he was walking the world, living up to his namesake there. He was a non-roster invitee who then makes the roster and makes the back end of that rotation. From name value standpoint, like, people tend to stay away from him, but yeah, that wouldn't be the case today because Rafael Devers' ADP and Chapman's ADP are quite high. So how you treating the Giants? Fulls, fades?
Full stack.
Okay, cool. How far would you go with Giants stuff today?
Well, I guess by ADP here, just Ramos, okay. Maybe you can throw in some Harrison Bader, but like, he's not like someone that I'm rushing to get to. But just kind of playing the studs here.
Respect it, dude. Yeah, good takes there. I honestly kind of might be a little bit on the soft fade side of Giants today, largely just because of the ballpark and just because, like, I don't love playing into bad spot chalk. And I think this is like, I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's like as good. And I'd rather play like unowned Astros than play like 100% owned, Rafi and Chapman,
Yeah, I guess, the first one to cut off that stack would easily be Chapman.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, Rafi 100% owned. I get it, right? Like him versus Yordan, it's like a coin flip. But yeah, I just think Buehler's not very good.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. And maybe I should be introducing some more Giants into my life. It was just something I was, kind of off to start the day there. Padres, you said you liked it relative to the ADP. We just got their lineup as well, dude. We get Rake Cronenworth leading off, left-handed Rake Cronenworth, and then Jackson Merrill. Landon Roop actually had some pretty strong splits where lefties killed him last year. So that's actually kind of interesting for the contrarian Cronenworth, Merrill, or Sheets tack on.
Geez, Padres gave us their lineup already. That's hilarious,
dude. It's a Christmas miracle by their standards back in the day.
Yeah, we kind of talked about Landon Roop. He's not like an awful pitcher, but I'm not scared of him. I would probably be trying to get kind of cute with this. The big three, I think, are what everybody's going to do with Tatis, Machado, and Merrill, but I don't know, maybe like kind of staggering a little bit, going with these lefties, like maybe like a Merrill Sheets, like skinny stack or something. Could be kind of fun. But yeah, I think these guys are so low owned that it makes a lot of sense to get to.
Yeah, San Diego's one of those classic stacks where, like, yeah, the stack's going to be like crazy unowned, but then the frequency in which it's owned with Tatis is going to be like 98%. And rightfully so. He's a first rounder and he's a really good player and whatnot, but you're instantly making any lineup unique if you play a Padre, let alone two Padres without Tatis.
Yep.
Cool. Yankees and Mariners up next there. Both pitchers getting drafted in the top, call it 7, I think it was when I looked this morning. But you get Ryan Weathers from the left side, who was kind of a riser during best ball season there, and people like the strikeout rate, yada, yada. We normally like playing Mariners against left-handed pitching, but we'll talk about it in a second. And then Luis Castillo on the other side, right-handed there. Obviously tough place for hitting, but Judge goes every single time, and in tandem with that, some other piece of the Yankees usually goes. And then Cal Raleigh goes every single time. And then in tandem with it, sometimes a Mariner goes. So how you treating Yankees today?
Basically fading.
Okay.
I've done the full lefty stack with them, with Grisham, Judge, Rice, Jazz, or Belly. I mixed it in, but yeah, I don't know, man. The run environment doesn't seem great. Luis Castillo, professional pitcher. Like, I don't know. I'm not necessarily like in love with it. Yeah. So I'm kind of fading it.
Cool. Respect it, dude. Will you still take Judge as a one-off or no?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't have a lot of him, which like that feels so stupid, but
No,
I
I
don't
mean, if
know.
there's spots you like at the top of the board, better. Why not? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
on a 1-to-1 sample, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But in a vacuum, majority of our draft days will have Judge and Otani going 1 and 2, some iteration of that. Mariners, dude. We used to love this team against left-handed pitching because they had so many righties, and then we learned that they were actually not that good against left-handed pitching over like the last year and a half with some of these righties. Julio, traditional slow starter there. Yeah, I don't know, man. Top of the lineup has actually been like really bad to start the year against Cleveland. Maybe they right the ship today against Ryan Weathers, who has the propensity to blow up. But basically, based on what spring looked like in a pitcher's park, I think I'd rather play Weathers than Mariners today. How you treating it?
Yeah, fully agree. Weathers is one of my favorite pitchers today because he's lower owned, and I think that the spot makes sense. Like you're not getting a ton of strikeouts here, but I think Weathers got some good results and good park. And like you said, the not only like last year did those results in terms of Mariners versus lefties not necessarily like pan out to conventional wisdom, but now they're way more left-handed heavy in terms of like the non-Julio and Randy bats. Like, so I just think lefties actually play against them pretty well. But obviously, you got Cal who hits well from right, Julio and Randy, on the right side of the plate, which is scary. But the rest of you get past that, the rest of the lineup really shouldn't give you too much trouble. I'm a fan of Ryan Weathers, man. I'm a believer in his stuff. I thought he kind of flashed a bit before he got hurt last year or whenever that was. The velo has been high. So, I trust the Yankees and, he's healthy. He looked good in spring. I think Weathers is a really fun SP today.
Cool. Yeah, I like it. Mariners probably flip around the lineup a little bit today. You probably won't see Luke Raley or Canzone, but what that means is you'll see them later in the ball game if it's a close ball game. So even if you want to play like some of the contrarian righties, which would probably be Ref Schneider and Victor Robles and Leo Rivas, like some of those guys who would be like fringe, like tack on stack guys, like Rob Refschneider probably leads off and he's a bona fide lefty killer. But that being said, like, he's going to get the Austin Slater treatment where he's going to get 2.6 ABs, even if he leads off. So probably not going there today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Refschneider, good call though.
Yeah. Interested to see if they leave both Naylor, Donovan, and Cole Young in there versus a lefty. I'm kind of interested to see what the iteration of their lineup looks like today. Because I don't know if they'll leave all three lefties. I mean, I think they'll just leave Naylor in the 4-hole most of the year versus lefties. But like Donovan's been leading off and hitting really well. Does he still lead off against a lefty? I don't know. I'm just kind of curious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next up here, man, we got that Tigers and D-backs game there. We have a Justin Verlander returning to Detroit, feel-good story. And then good Canadian kid Mike Soroka on the other side there. Two righties in what could be the late-night hammer because I think both of us like bats in this game. Tigers as kind of a contrarian stack with the lefties. Very astute of you to point out no lefties in the bullpen for Arizona. So if Kerry Bonds is leading off, that looks like a 5AB spot for Kerry Bonds today. Dude, I thought you were copying my homework in the early drafts we were doing today because I did exactly this a couple times. And then I was noticing that we were drafting a couple together at the exact same time, and you were doing the same thing in the other lobby. And I was like, okay, he sees what I'd see here. I like Tigers today, man. I like Tigers left-handed power.
Yeah, Tigers, dude. Just makes a lot of sense, man. Just makes a lot of sense. Like, you pretty much play all lefties if you want to. Get as far down as to Parker Meadows, your boy, if you feel like it. Yeah, dude, none of these guys are being drafted. So
yeah,
I think it's such a sick spot for it if things pan out like you kind of hope.
Yeah, I mean, once upon a time, Mike Soroka was like a big deal from a prospect standpoint, and he's just been through the ringer with injuries so many damn times. Like he was a former first round pick, rather, like a top 10 kind of guy, good Canadian kid. I thought he pitched well in the WBC, especially in spurts in that game versus the US. But like, he just seems like he's gettable, man, and he's gettable with left-handed power. And even if the ballpark doesn't play to it, you have big boy light tower power on the left side with the Tigers there in Green, Kerry Bonds, Torques from the right side, but I still like it. Kevin McGonigal. I like it, dude.
Yeah. I think if you threw a couple more stud pitchers on this slate in other spots, and then we're like chalk Tigers today, like every draft.
Yeah, I like it, dude. So that's gonna be fulls for both of us. D-backs side, I mean, D-backs lineup looks really watered down at the base here, but we're dealing with like the dusty corpse of Justin Verlander, who was a late start in spring as well because he was a late signee. I don't think he's got more than 4 innings in him today. But I think it's probably skinnies only for the D-backs to me because there's only 4 that I want to play, really.
Yeah. I think if you want to get cute, throw in like Gabby Moreno in there. I'm not sure if Pavin Smith is back yet. But no, I really only care about the big 3, Cattell, Corbin Carroll, and Perdomo.
Yeah, I'd throw Pavin Smith in there because he can get righties, but it might be a bridge too far on this slate. Last game, dude, Dodgers and Guardians. I'll probably save our breath because Dodgers are basically always allowed to be full Dodgers. But I will say, man, Dodgers going against a lefty. Like, I know people fell in love with Parker Messick in the best ball draft season and stuff there. Man, if you can give me a little like Andy Pages, Teoscar Hernandez, Will Smith, middle to bottom of the order 3-man that isn't paired with any of those top end left-handed hitters on the Dodgers, like, let's see 3 home runs out of that group and see what happens.
Yep.
I kind of like that contrarian Dodgers one.
Yeah, that's I think that's the way to get to it for sure. I really like doing that with like a pair of some other game environment that's really sick. So yeah, I'm with you on that. And then, man, Guardians are not getting a whole lot of respect by the markets or by Underdog here, by the drafters. Run total, the implied run total is pretty low for these guys, but we haven't seen Roki pitch a good game in the calendar year.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really interesting spot because all the totals are going to tell you no. Everything else is, other than this unabated 9, which is kind of encouraging, but the majority of that's coming on the Dodgers side. Yes. But as you were saying, with the implied totals and stuff, like I'm staring at a 3.5. The S words were what? They were even lower than that. I think it was a 3.49 or something, which is basically the same. 3.69 was that one. I don't know, man. Rookie's so interesting. He was awful in the spring. He was walking everybody. As you alluded to, we haven't seen him pitch well in forever. He was really good in a relief role in the postseason last year, but I don't know, man. This seems like a failed stretch out experiment, and the confidence is down. And you get this Guardians team that, starting on the road here with Velarde being super hot. Manzardo's got big time power from the left side. Jose, you can play against anybody. Like, I think I want to, maybe not fulls, but I want to get to like at least 3-mans from this spot. They could just get rookies in the first inning, man. The way they're kind of swinging it right now, that like, Chase just homers again, Jose, and then all of a sudden it's like you got 36 points at the top of your lineup with, the first 3 hitters. I don't love stacking against the Dodgers because their bullpen's so good, especially the piggyback guys, or even the piggyback guys would be a way of framing it. So I never love stacking against the Dodgers, but I'm good with 3s here, I think.
Yeah, I would do as much as like the top of the order, like the first 4. If like things really go awry for Sasaki, like I think they could just end up like white flagging this game because of how bad his results have been. So that would be Quan, DeLauder, Ramirez, and Manzardo. But yeah, those are the 4 that I'm drafting.
Okay, cool, man. Really like it. That's kind of all the stacks. That's all the game through. That's the scroll downs within the stacks. We'll talk about our actual scroll list in 2 seconds as we do a draft. But we got to address the pitching here. Is Cody Ponce SP1 today?
I guess.
Yeah. I feel very similarly, I guess.
Cabrera is not my SP2. I think he has like probably the highest ceiling, but I think his floor is pretty bad. And, you know, I wouldn't want to get overweight to a guy that could give you negative fantasy points. So not taking much Cabrera at all. I'm basically fading him completely. I have like 1 or 2 shares of Cabrera. I like Castillo just for the park.
Yep.
I was doing Ranger Suarez just because he tends to limit hard contact, but all those righties definitely scare me. Weather's probably my favorite play on the slate, though, for pitching.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, dude. I think we're seeing the slate very similarly. I'm mixing in a little bit of Clay Holmes. I was kind of soft fading the Cabrera stuff because I liked that game more from a hitting standpoint. I think Cody Ponce is my SP1 as well, but it does feel very meh. I think I do like Kyle Harrison and Ryan Weathers as like kind of like my break glass in case of emergency that are like a fraction of the percentage less owned than the rest of it. Honestly, beyond that, I don't really see a reason to get anywhere else because all I'm looking for from SP today is just like 6 points, man. And I don't think there's any reason to go like hunting like way down here to get someone who potentially separates because I don't think the ceiling is there, especially with these back end rotation guys who are potentially not fully stretched out.
Agreed. I just don't want to get killed at SP. I don't think anybody's separating today. I hope not.
Yeah. If you had to pick like a full scroll favorite for the day, who do you like? I'll tell you who I think. It's a hard question, but I'll tell you I think have the two biggest ceilings. I think the 2 biggest ceilings are Jacob Lopez and where did he go? Lance McCullers. I think those are the 2 biggest ceilings because at least I know they have strikeout stuff. I don't like the matchups for either of them, but if we believe the simulations total from Jacob Lopez, we like playing him away from Sacramento. We know he can strike out 10 and go 5 innings and strike out 10. Like we know that's in his bag. We've seen it. It's not something I really want to bet on today, but if I had to pick the 2 strikeout upside guys, it's these 2.
Yeah. If you're scrolling, I think that's true.
Yeah. Junior saying no Pena today, and Matt Murphy saying big news. Davis signs with with Flock Fantasy. All right, love to see it. I love the combination. I mean, I love Mason. He was so nice at every dog bowl and every time we've gotten together. So to see him and Davis do something together, that's fun, man. I like that. Respect it.
Yeah.
All right, Nezzy, let's do our thing and let's draft Moonshot.
Let's get in here.
The old developer mode. They knew what I was capable of with the developer mode. Oh, what do we got going on here, Numi?
It's Canada, man. Always. There we go.
There we go. On and then off again.
Decent fill rates so far.
Yeah.
53%. That's good.
As an Astros fan, if it goes bad for McCullers, which I'm leaning yes, it's going to be 6 to 7 walks and a lot of earned runs. And the Stros bullpen is torched from the Angels series. I like that. Good take. Yeah, we haven't had the bullpen tracker out yet this year, just because it's been early. But yeah.
Yeah, I buy that.
Yeah. Give me 1 second here. Houston. Houston had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 arms throw yesterday out of the pen. 3 the day before, 3 the day before that, and 3 the day before that. So yeah, I mean six guys going yesterday, and Munoz throwing 47. Yeah, good shouts on the bullpen track or. Nez, what do you do at pick number 2 here? Do you just take one of these studs with Ohtani or Judge, or do you like to mix and match more than that?
I've done mostly Ohtani.
Okay, let's go ahead and take Shohei Ohtani. Despite it being lefty, it's Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, and then I usually I don't usually do Dodgers with it, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we can do those contrarian right-handed Dodgers we talked about, but they also probably don't hit near him in the lineup. Presumably they're going to be doing like, Betts and Tucker around him, Freeman around him. So like
It'd
stacking.
Still be fun though.
Yeah. Purple yesterday never got the developer error until recently. Yeah, same. That's a new one with the browser. I don't know what's up with that. We've relayed the information though.
Yeah.
Damn right, AMAC. What up, Davis? Davis rolling through as the Davis news of the other Davis dropped. Oh, I missed this earlier. Jump free. Using my message to share my combo prediction of the day. He's got Chase Burns higher than 26.5 strikeouts, plus the Reds minus 999.5 runs. There you go, bro. Smoked it. Who do you like at the 101 today? Do you like Soto, Ohtani? What are you doing?
I'm doing Soto.
Yeah. Just trust in
Soto's 101, but I don't see like a must-have environment there,
Yep. As you guys can see, Awin knows how to win baseball. He takes Corbin Carroll by scrolling all the way the F down there. Cubs stacky stack available for us here. Are you interested in the Cubs, like we said?
I am, but is that what you want to do?
Yeah, sure. Let's do PCA and Bush, or PCA and somebody else, and then see. Maybe we'll do another 2-man and we'll use Ohtani as a one-off.
Okay.
And then get a scroll pitcher to make it all make sense. It is a really plan your own draft kind of day, Like you can really.
Yeah, I mean, ADP really is meaningless. Okay, there goes Michael Bush.
Okay, Bush goes there, so we could do. We talked a little bit about the Cleveland infield one.
Do some Angels.
Angels are primarily outfield, but
Neto.
Okay. Let's do Trout and Neto and another infielder there.
Okay. Seanwell is getting a lot of love right now. They're saying he's swinging. It's small sample, but apparently these cuts have been much faster on average for him.
Yeah, I heard. I saw a couple tweets there, and then I think I saw it in the Rates and Barrels Discord, where they were talking about the swing speed being up and it being a sample size thing with him, where it's like, or with anyone rather, that like in small sample size there are some stats that have stickiness, and that's one of them. There you go. That Mavis goes with Neto right after. We said we're going to start up the Bush stack. Okay. We're going to start the Angel stack. Oh, we're going to take Neto now. What are we doing out here, guys? Yeah, did I mega mush Shanwell? Who knows? Maybe that was me, dude.
Might have.
Yeah,
well, now what the hell do we do? Because
called him James Loney.
You did. We could still do Angels infield if you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, we could do. I really like Neto today, though. I think now we probably do Dodgers with Will Smith or something. So it's a little bit contrarian, but the team's pretty chalky. So I don't know. I don't like doing less than 3-man. So let's just go super contrarian Cubs.
Okay.
And we could go like Carson Kelly and Or we could go like Swanson and Horner, Carson Kelly.
Let's do Kelly and Horner.
We could do Bregman too. Yeah, Kelly and Horner.
Yeah.
Okay. People talking about a slight power increase in the potential of a power increase in Horner's profile, allegedly. Saw some murmurings.
Yeah, drug test him ASAP.
Yeah, he beat the James Loney allegations already with 1 home run.
Yep.
Actually, I think he's got 2. He's got 2. Ran to the gas station, had to rewind and watch in 1.5 speed because I refused to miss a single second of the latte tapping. I love that. That's fun. All right, you like Carson Kelly more than this tier?
I mean, no, it's just off the board.
Okay, should we take Luis Castillo first, or should we scroll past it and take another starter?
Yeah, grab Castillo.
Okay. Not bad here, not bad. We're going to end up with a little bit of a Cubs one here. It's definitely a plan your stacks kind of day, dude, where it's like that you can plan your shit out and then you can push your playing kind of thing if you want to.
Yeah, easily. I mean, I do it whenever I'm drafting.
Whoa. Gonna tap in here, see some of these other bullpen stats now. That got me thinking. Well, it's always part of my process there.
Yeah, that's fun.
What? When are we going to get a Matt McLain game? He's cooking right now. You be kidding me? He's hitting like fucking 400. I'm actually appalled. I'm actually going to look it up right now. Okay, give me a second.
213 WRC plus.
Matt McLain has a 213 WRC plus. He scored 2 runs. He has 4 walks. He's only struck out twice. He has 4 hits, 1 double. He's hitting 400. The fuck are we talking about here? It's like the first 3 games of the season. Fucking, this isn't football. You don't have to score a touchdown every week. This guy only has to, for Matt McLain to pay off his ADP in our contest where he was getting drafted, he has to homer once every 15 days. Like, we're 4 games in and he's hitting 400. Damn it, Noah. God, this isn't basketball. Shit.
Oh my God.
Huge slump. Huge slump.
Dear God.
I never realized Throw to Run is the account for stream. That's good. Oh, you're definitely in a video, man. Let's do one last one and call it a show here, Nez.
Yep. I've got errands today. Post show.
I'm here for the rage bait.
All right, what are we doing with this team?
We're bypassing everyone in the first round.
Okay.
And maybe the first. Actually, you know what we could do? We could do contrarian Toronto. So we could do Vlad, Junior. I was gonna say Junior Suarez. Just merging names together. Jesus Sanchez. We do Jesus Sanchez plus Vlad. I'm gonna tell everybody our plan, but
that is fun though.
And Barger, Jesus Sanchez, and Vlad. And then
we'd have to take Vlad though. You know,
okay, let's talk
about bypassing.
Yeah, we'll take Vlad.
Okay.
Everybody stay in their lane here. Leave the Jesus Sanchez teams to be. Yeah, Jimenez had a nice weekend there, hitting at the bottom of the order there. Wholesome Scum, what a name. Yeah, here you go. Jordan being the modern era Babe Ruth and going undrafted is easy money. Travioli's all over it.
Yeah, I'm scared for my Rangers shares now. My Ranger Suarez shares.
Yeah, right. Even if you told us the plan, T-Fox has a better one. I love that. Got to take Lindor when Soto's on the board. All right, we're going to go something like this.
Okay.
And then there's two teams that I'm thinking of. Put them in the chat, depending on what's available for us. And I think we got to do one of those two as at least a 2 or a 3 man to go with this.
All right, so that'd be I like one team more than the other that you sent, but that other one's cheekier.
All right. Well, you answer the call. We'll see here. I'm not revealing yet. Matt needs 2 more for the $5 single entry MLB. Yeah, big variety of contests. Obviously, we were just drafting the main on stream, but big variety of contests in both sports today. So good to see. We'll go ahead and take Jesus here.
Yeah. Lock it up.
We did get Springer to come back to us, and we said,
did we?
We said, fuck that. You know who's hitting the bayous today? Jesus, aka Jesus Sanchez.
That's so funny.
Been waiting all morning to get that GM combo, and you know what I did? Double birds, buddy. Nah, wave. See you later.
Yeah, it takes so much to not get married to the top of ADP today, but yeah, it's the move. Oh, all right.
Damn it. Best ball Alec. Best ball Alec is making our decisions for us right now. We were going to do Tigers so that we scratch off one of those teams. Yeah, this is a great way to play baseball. Dirtbike Davis saying that he loves 2 single entry contests and a triple play. That's an amazing way to play baseball for $16 a day.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you're not going to lose your shirt over it. You're not going to be upset that you lost, but you're going to give yourself an opportunity to play. Like, you're not going to be in there with like all the hardos and whatever. It's great, man. Great setup.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. It's a different ball game in the main. It's like night and day.
Love it. Wow. Travioli was a burger bomb away from the 100Xer for the home runs. He had the bad Max Muncy and Jesus Sanchez, and then needed the Rake Burger. Rake Burger homered over the weekend too. Man, you know what I like him today. You know what I did on I guess it was Friday, maybe it was Saturday morning, something like that. As soon as Jacob deGrom got scratched, I just jammed Phillies like a boss. You know, I was like, they're completely underrepresented. They're whatever. And then they just like didn't even score a run until extra innings.
I thought they were a great play.
Jacob they were unbelievable. Who wound up starting that game? Was it a full bullpen game?
But I don't know if it was bullpen, but it was Jacob Latz.
Speaking of Latz.
Yeah, no wings.
Jordan? Lefty Killa?
Yeah. Go with the plan. Yeah, he threw 4 innings yesterday. Did Latz.
Okay. Yeah, so it was yesterday. So I'm getting all my this is the beautiful and weird thing about baseball season. It's just like all the slates, all the games, like it all just merges together. Like, you know, it's like as soon as they start, another slate drops. Like it's just
it was 2 days ago. It was actually.
Ooh, and Shohei flipped Soto in the ADP. Love to see that. I love the frozen rope, but it does not love me. That's good.
No. Fresno Rope is tough.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we got lineups here, Nez, and we did not get Pena in the lineup.
Nope.
So if you had to pick a favorite stacking partner here, would it be Isak? Would it be Cam Smith? Who do you like?
Isak,
a lefty killer in his own right, could just yank one into the Crawford boxes today. Dude, it's been a really nice start to the season for Cam Smith, too, and he's been playing every day, and he's slowly moving up in the order. I love some of those back end. I mean, they're not nice as your bags with the Chase DeLauder stuff, but I'm really liking some of these Jesus Sanchez plus Cam Smith that I was doing once they got traded. Because at the back end there, I was like, nobody's pairing these two together because they would only be doing it as a stack. So then I started pairing them together once they got traded because they both kind of had jobs opening up.
Yeah, no, that was it was fun, man. Sanchez hitting second too is just like so sweet. I don't think I've drafted Cam Smith yet, but
no, yeah, that's fair. We get the Turbotron doing the 5-man Atlanta stack there without Matt Olson, who T-Bear in the chat told me it was double dong Matt Olson day.
He did.
The Turbotron's not listening to him. But, on these slates, like these 5-mans and stuff, I'd be staying away from doing Ponce with my 5-mans on a day like today.
Yeah,
when there's so much variance at the pitching position, I would just go ahead and take someone else kind of thing, because if you're building 5-mans, that's how everyone's going to build 5-mans. How do you like Weathers or Harrison?
I like Weathers more, but Harrison's fine.
Okay, let's go with Weathers then, because we got a pretty contrarian build as is. We have 4 33 plus ADP guys in there. So we go with the 3-man Toronto and a 2-man Houston. Don't dupe us. And then we take Ryan Weathers. Nez, man, we covered all the NBA. We covered all the MLB. Feeling pretty good about it today. I think I was going to say the show's over, but I think there's one cheeky thing to do here. I'm just going to tap in on what Mr. Jesus, only a 258. Okay. So maybe not. Maybe I was thinking about some of our pick to clicks with I liked Rooker. I liked Lefty, only a 253. I liked Jordan as a pick to click, even though it's lefty. He's only getting 2. So yeah, maybe we'll stay clear of that one today and just call it a show there. Yeah. All right, man.
Great work.
There we go. Here's our boy, dude.
Oh, that's so sick.
Everstetti, what's good, buddy?
Love a walk-off.
Love it, dude. Yeah. Guy got engaged and tagged us in the tweet. Unbelievable. Legend of the community. All right, dude. I think we did justice out here today. A couple fun slates, 10 games, 8 games. We'll be back tomorrow for the behind the paywall version of exactly this. Want to reward the members as we continue to go there. You guys saw us drafting with the solver draft assist. That works for both football and baseball. I'm going to drop that in the chat for everybody there. Promo code BADGE in all capital letters there will get you 20% off when you sign up for the solver. Anything else for the people there, Nez?
No. See you in the lobbies. Best of luck. Go Pirates. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks, he says. Not even on the slate. Always go Bucks. All right, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace. Good luck tonight. See you at the top of the leaderboards.